Paul, this afternoon, the scene of a large ICE presence is quieting down after a hectic situation within the last few hours. This is all happening in an area near South St. Anthony Park, near the midpoint between Minneapolis and St. Paul. Our Joe McCoy is joining us live from the scene. Joe, what do you know so far?
Well, Cece, I want to tell our viewers what exactly was going on this morning from our vantage point, what we saw on the scene. We saw HSI officers, DEA officers, ICE agents who were here. We got on scene around 10 a.m. and there were hundreds of protesters that were clashing with those federal agents right here outside of Brotex in St. Paul. You can see in this video, we saw people who were being tear gassed by federal agents. We saw a lot of pushing and shoving between the protesters and those federal agents. The protesters were seemingly trying to block the federal agents from being able to drive away from Brotex. There were protesters who were stationed on multiple different street corners, again, trying to block those federal agents from leaving. And this went on for about 45 minutes. There was tear gas that was deployed by federal agents, and we also saw protesters who were throwing sticks at the vehicles. They were throwing other objects at the vehicles, again, trying to get them to stop. There was, of course, a lot of swearing back and forth between the protesters and the ICE agents as this all was going on. What I do want to play is some sound from a man who says his father was someone who was taken by ICE agents here this morning. Take a listen.
They keep doing this. They're going to be breaking apart lots of families, and they'll see the outcome of what they've done, what they're truly taking away.
Now, Cece, we do have a lot of information that's confirmed. What I do want to share is what we heard from Melvin Carter, Mayor Melvin Carter, who was here on the scene this morning. He said that St. Paul police was not involved in whatever was going on this morning. He says they are not sure at this time if whether this was part of a criminal investigation or whether that this was strictly immigration enforcement. But he says his office had no knowledge prior that this was going to be taking place. So we are working to try to find out exactly what was going on here, why these federal agents were here in St. Paul conducting what they did this morning. But it was an extremely chaotic scene for about an hour here as hundreds of protesters were clashing with those federal agents, Cece.
All right, thanks for that update, Joe. I know you're working hard to gather more information and get those questions answered. We'll see you in about 30 minutes.